Part 1, write an equation and sketch.
Oh boy.
Okay, so today we're working backwards from what we did yesterday. Yesterday we gave you the equation, you put it in standard form, you found all its bits and pieces and graphed it. Today I'm going to give you bits and pieces, you're going to sketch it, and then find the equation. So you're working backwards. All right, number 1, V is 0, 0. What does V stand for?
Vertex.
Vertex is 0, 0. Uppercase F is 5/4, comma 0. What does F stand for? The focus. Both of those are ordered pairs. The lines are the line of symmetry and the directrix. All right, even though it does not ask you to sketch, I want you to, oh, it does. But even if it did not, you sketch to help you get an idea of what is going on. All right, vertex 0, 0. 5/4, is that bigger than 1 or smaller than 1? So it's what, 1 1/4? Now what do I usually put for the focus? It is a point. A star is what I usually use, just so I can tell the difference. That's the vertex, that's the focus. All right, now it didn't tell us which direction it's opening, but can we look at this and have enough information?
Yes.
Which direction is it opening? The only direction it could open is which way? Do you agree that is the only direction it could open? Because the focus has to always be inside the cup. If it was opening up, it wouldn't work. If it was opening left, it wouldn't work. And if it was opening down, it wouldn't work. Does that make sense? All right, so because it's opening left, is this going sideways? Is it going to be an x equals y squared or y equals x squared? Y equals x squared? Do you guys agree?
Isn't it x equals y squared?
X equals y squared. Which one?
X equals y squared.
Okay.
But
It's
you
okay.
Just that y equals x squared, and I was like,
Wait, what?
Did I miss something?
Okay, so y equals x squared is the traditional one, and x equals y squared is the sideways one. So what is this? X equals, and I'm going to write it in the descriptive form or the vertex form. Now I will tell you this before I go any further. If they ever ask you to write an equation, you'll always put it in vertex form unless stated otherwise. And even if they do ask otherwise, you start off with vertex form and then change it. You will always start off with vertex form. It's the easiest way to go. Okay, y minus k and then plus h, or this is kh and this is k. All right. A, we don't know. We're going to look for that. But I'm going to plug the vertex in for now. What's the vertex? Do you agree that hk comes from the vertex?
Yeah.
So it's going to be y minus 0 quantity squared plus 0. Do you agree this is equivalent to x equals ay squared? Yes or no?
Yes.
All right. Now typically they give me a point, and when they give me a point I can plug it in and find the a. Did they give me a point on the parabola besides the vertex? 'Cause I've already used the vertex, I can't use it again.
You have the function?
Okay, is this point on the parabola?
No.
No, so I can't plug it in. But we are going to use that, the focus. There is a form, okay, what is this called? What is this length right here? Can you just give me the number? If I went to the right 1 1/4, what is it? 5/4 or 1 1/4? Yes or no? We have a letter. What is that?
C.
C. And you called it something else right now. You said it is the focal length? Focal, it's the full length because you go right and left. All right, even though they didn't ask us to do it, I'm going to do it just to get the practice. If I went right 1 1/4 for the focus, I'm going to go which direction for the directrix? Left 1 1/4 and draw my directrix. Yes or no?
Yes.
All right, now yesterday we learned that C was the focal length. And that focal length was the distance from your vertex to your directrix or your vertex to your focus, right? And what do we know about this? They're always equidistant. That vertex is smack dab in the middle between the directrix and the focus every single time. Got it? So if you went up 5, you'd go down 5. If you went right 3, you'd go left 3. All right, so with that being said, does everybody see that the focal length for this one is 5/4? What is the formula for focal length? I just had it up there. C equals 1 over 4A. All right, so how can I use the fact that I know the formula is 1 over 4A, and I know the value of C is 5/4? How can I?
You can plug that into C and then.
Okay, both of you guys said plug this into the C, which then would give me 5/4 equals what? 1 over 4A, and how would we solve that? Multiply each side by 4?
So 85.
Each side by 5?
No, it's not 8 is equal to 5.
Okay, so she said multiply both sides by 4. Gone, 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 and gone. That's 5 equals what?
Oh, 1 over 8.
1 over A. And then we multiply both sides by
By
A. 5A equals 1. And what's the last step?
1 by 5.
Divide by 5. And what does A equal?
1 over 5.
Did anybody cross multiply instead of all the work I did?
I just switched it.
Just switched it. Did it work? And those of you that cross multiply, did it work? All right. 20A equals 4. Divide both sides by 20. All right. So x equals 1/5 y squared. Now you do have to pay attention to whether the A should be positive or negative. Which direction is my parabola opening?
Right.
Is that positive or negative?
Positive.
Positive. So this is good. Questions? Okay. Number 2. Vertex is 0, 0. Directrix is y equals 4. I'm going to have you sketch that, and that is enough information for you to know which direction it is opening. All right, which direction is this parabola opening? Okay, how can you tell it's down if all I know this is 0, 0? I know this as well. And what does the line y equals 4 look like? Horizontal or vertical? So I go up 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and draw this. Yes? Now, the only direction the parabola can be opening is downward because it always goes away from the directrix. Do you see that? Directrix, it's going the opposite direction. Directrix, it's going down. All right, what is the length between the vertex and the directrix? 4. What letter do we use to represent that?
C.
C equals 4. What do I know about the focus? Which direction would I go for the focus? From my vertex, I would go where?
4.
4, which direction?
Downward.
1, 2, 3, 4, so my focus would be right there. Yes? All right. X equals y squared or y equals x squared?
Y equals x squared.
Okay, y equals a parentheses x minus h quantity squared plus k hk. Y equals, what is a? We don't know. X minus what?
0.
0. Quantity squared plus 0. Do you agree it's y equals ax squared?
Yes.
Okay, I'm going to have you solve for your a. Same way you did on the last one, or same way that I showed you on the last one. Go ahead and do that now. Can anybody give me at least the equation you're using to solve for A? 4 equals 1 over 4A. Do you guys agree?
Yeah.
Yes, because C is 4 and the formula is C equals 1 over 4A. cross multiply or multiply both sides by 4a, however you show your work. I'll cross multiply since I did it on the last one. What does a equal?
16.
Now, can anybody tell me why I would get this wrong when I've made no mistakes in any of my work so far? Okay. Now, does that mean I made a mistake in my work?
No, you just need to know that.
You just need to know. When you're looking for A and you're using your focal length, you'll have to look at your picture and assess. Is it positive? Is it negative? And why is it negative?
Because it's upside down.
Because it's upside down. It's going downwards, so negative.
Which is why we have to sketch.
Which is why you have to sketch. You are correct. And I will tell you this, if you use an ordered pair, if they give you an ordered pair, you don't have to worry about it. It'll come out positive or negative on its own. I'll show you what I mean in just a little bit. Number 3.
As far as we can see.
Because I know this is 10-4, but over here it's 10-6.
Yes.
Okay. The review is the same thing too, right? Or is that different?
Worksheet, it's up here. The worksheet review is 10.
10-8?
Yeah.
I just making sure.
Yeah, thank you. All right, are we good? Number 3. V is 0, 0. What does V stand for? I'm just going to write horizontal axis, but that means it has a horizontal axis. What the heck does that mean? I'll explain in a little bit. And
So x-axis.
There's 2 axes. And Y's.
and it passes through 6, 4. What did I keep telling you guys yesterday about line of symmetry? Another name for line of symmetry is, started with an A. Axis of symmetry? All right, so that's what this is. Axis is talking about the line of symmetry.
So we lost.
So it's a horizontal LOS.
It's X equals.
So that means,
All right.
X equals.
So I tell you this because some kids, when you see this in homework, they're like, what does that mean, horizontal axis? It's talking about the LOS. Your LOS is horizontal. All right, so go ahead and sketch. The vertex is 0, 0. Do you agree that that information was needed? Because if they didn't tell me what kind of line of symmetry I had, do you agree I could open upward like this
Yeah.
or sideways like this? And I wouldn't have enough information. Do you see that? If I did not know what kind of line of symmetry I had, I would not have enough information because it could open upward like this or sideways like this. So that horizontal axis was needed. The horizontal line of symmetry means it's running which way? What does horizontal mean? Right, left, or up, down?
Okay.
So it's going like this because it always goes to the LOS. The LOS always goes to the vertex. So which direction am I opening if the point is here? Am I opening up or am I opening to the right? Does everybody see that? All right, so who can explain how we knew we're opening to the right instead of upward the way I originally sketched it?
The vertex and the point.
Vertex and the point, but the point, it could have went like this. The line of symmetry is horizontal.
Oh, that's.
Okay. All right,
How do you
X.
know it's on 0, 0? Oh my God.
Yeah, it's okay. All right, X equals or Y equals? And since the vertex is 0, 0, are you guys okay if I just do that? We've done 2 already where we plugged in 0 and plugged in 0, and this is how it ended up, yes? Okay, did they give me the focus?
No.
Did they give me the directrix?
No.
No.
Did they give me anything in here to find the focal length C? No, but they gave me something to find A. What am I going to use to find A?
The point.
The point. And what did I say about when they give you a point, the A would come out positive or negative on its own. You don't have to look for it. If they give you a point, you just plug it in. What am I going to plug in for X?
6.
Equals A parentheses squared. What goes in for Y?
4.
All right, I'll let you guys go ahead and finish. What does A equal?
3/8.
3/8.
0. Yeah.
All right, so you plug it back in. And I don't have to worry about checking it. It'll come out positive or negative on its own. This one came out to be positive, and should it be positive according to this graph? Yes. If it was negative, say they gave you -6, 4, that would be going this way. And when you plug that -6 in and you divide it, you ended up with a negative. So it comes out on its own when you use a point on the graph. When is it that it does not come out? You have to look when you're using C. You're using your focal length, not a point on the graph. All right, questions on this one? We're going to do one more like this where the vertex is not at the origin. Number 4. Vertex is 5, 4, and the focus is 2, 4. I'm going to have you at least go ahead and plot that. Which one do I use the star on, the vertex or the focus? Focus. And that's just the way I do it, so it's easy for me when I look to tell what is what. If that's all they've given me, is that enough to know which direction I'm opening?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yep. Josh, which direction am I opening? If this is the vertex and that is the focus.
It's opening to the left.
Opening to the left. Good job. Okay, do we agree? Is this one where they gave me a point on the graph, or one where I'm going to use the focal length?
What are you gonna use it for?
Focal length. They gave me no point. People say, well, they gave you that star. Well, that star is not on the graph. All right, what is the focal length here? And what letter do I usually call it? C equals 3. Can you guys see that the length there is 3? What do I know about my directrix? Which direction from the vertex will I move?
No.
I already moved left 3, so I'm going to move right 3. And it'll look like that. Okay, questions? I'm going to start you off, and I'll let you finish. X equals or Y equals?
X equals
X equals.
Why would it be wrong to just put it like this?
start the origin.
It's not at the origin. Good job. It's only like that when your vertex is 0, 0. So I'm going to put A parentheses Y squared, and then outside I'll put the number in. All right. Y minus 5 or Y minus 4? 4. And then what's on the outside? Plus 5. Good job. Hello, Mrs. Torres. Okay, I'll learn that. Thank you. Bye-bye. All right. I'll let you guys find A. We know the formula is C equals 1 over 4A. We know C is 3. Go ahead and solve.
How many examples do we have left?
After 4, we have a part 2 with 2 examples. All right. Dominic, tell me what you plugged in to find A. What did you plug in?
Plug in 3 for C and then equals to 1 over 4A.
And can you tell me how you multiplied or how you worked it out?
Cross multiply.
Cross multiplied. 12A equals 1. And divided, and what did you get?
12.
A is 1/12. All right. Now, what did I use to find the A? C or an actual point on the graph? And what did if I use a point on the graph, I do not double check. If I use C, I have to double check for what? Direction of the graph. So if I left it like this, is it okay? Why not?
Because it's
is opening left, which means the 1/2 should be, not 1/2, sorry,
It's supposed to be 1/12.
12, yeah. So the 1/12 should be negative. Do you guys see that? When do you not have to worry about that? When you plug in a point that's actually on your graph. It'll work out on its own. Okay. Questions at all on part 1 before I move on to part 2? You guys have seen this before? Yeah? Yeah? All right. Part 2. Focal chord. Different from focal length. Do you guys remember hearing the word focal chord?
Yes.
Do you remember what it was?
Oh, it was like 2C or something? No.
4C?
4C.
Okay. If this is your focus and this is your directrix, your focal chord is the length from endpoint to endpoint, and it goes through the focus. That red line is your focal chord. It goes from endpoint to endpoint on your parabola, and it goes right through the focus. All right, focal chord length. What's focal chord length equal? Some of you just said it already. It's 4 times, I'm going to put in words. What's C stand for? The focal length. Now there's a lot of usage of the word focal, so make sure you understand the difference between focal chord length and just focal length. This is your focal length. This is your focal chord length. Do you see that? No, I'm going to show you again. This one's the focal length. This one's the focal chord length. All right, I'm going to use FCL for focal chord length equals 4 times, and what letter have we always used for focal length? C. Right there, C. Focal chord length equals 4 times C. All right, questions? Number 1, find the A vertex, B focal chord endpoints, and C equation. And heads up off the desk, please. All right. Kellen. Okay. I'm going to give to you that F. What does F stand for? Focus, and that's an ordered pair, 0, 7. And your directrix, the equation for your directrix is y equals 3. And I suggest you sketch that first.
Suggest.
I want you to. At 0, 7, should I put a star or a point?
A star.
Now it's still a point, but I just put a star so I know it's the focus.
Yeah, because you focus on the stars.
Is that enough information to know which direction my parabola opens?
Yes.
Yes? Alexandra, which way does it open? Up. How can you tell that?
Towards the focus.
It goes up towards the focus, so the focus can be inside. Now, will it be down here and open up?
No.
Will it be up here somewhere and open up?
Yes.
All right, is there enough information? Yes, there is. I'm going to have you guys do it right now to find your part A vertex. Without any talking, find your vertex. Remember what we said about the word equidistant in notes today as well as yesterday. check with the person sitting next to you. Darren, you can check with the person behind you since Kellen is not working. All right, what did you guys get? As an ordered pair? 0, 5. Do you see why it's an ordered pair? Yeah. Can anybody tell me how you got, let me see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. How did you know that point there was 0, 5? Halfway between the focus and directrix? Why? Because what's the word I've used? These are equidistant. Look at, there's 2 there and there's 2 there. Which, by the way, does that mean that C is what? 2. All right, I'm going to open upward. Okay, I'm going to erase those for now. I'll put those back in later. All right, part B is focal chord endpoints. Okay, so where is my focal chord? Do you agree it goes from endpoint to endpoint and through the focus? Like this.
No, I vehemently disagree.
All right, that is our focal chord. Find the focal chord endpoints. Now, in order to know the endpoints, I need to know what? What this length. If I know the length, could I find the endpoints?
Yes.
Do we have a formula for focal chord length? 4C. Good job. So focal chord length equals 4 times, we already found C to be what? 2. So what is the focal chord length? 8. All right. Now I had kids ask earlier, is that half? Is that all? It's 8 from endpoint to endpoint. That length there is 8. And since we know parabolas are symmetrical on the LOS, what is the length? I know mine's not drawn to scale, but what's the length here? And what's the length here? 4. So if I go right 4 to this endpoint, what's the x value? 4. If I went from here left 4 to the endpoint, what's that x value? All right, is that enough to find the ordered pair? Okay, this one here is going to be over 4. Up, how far was the focus? 7. And this one over here is going to be what? Negative 4 up 7. Just a reminder on your assignment sheet today, when you see there is an addendum, that means you do the book page, and the addendum's on the back of your assignment sheet. So you need one of those today if you don't have one already. All right, what are the order pairs for part B? Negative 4, 7, and 4, 7. All right, part C, the equation. Is it x equals or y equals? Y equals, I'm going to do the work over here. Y equals a x blank squared and then blank. What do I use to fill in these blanks, the HK? The focus or the vertex? All right, so what goes in here with the x spot, the 0 or the 5? So plus 0, and on the outside? Plus 5, because the outside stays the same. Y equals ax squared plus 5. I'm going to let you guys find your a. There's more than one right way to find your a. And sitting down and waiting for me to do it is not one of them. Darn it. So get to work.
Isn't it minus 0?
Yes, and sometimes I change it. Minus 0 or plus 0. Why does it not matter in this case? Because 0 is 0. Minus or plus, x is going to stay x. But the formula is minus. All right. Anybody have it? Did you say wait? Sorry. Y equals 1 over 8 x squared plus 5. And I do want to ask how you got that. So
1 over 4a.
okay, so how did you get 1 over, you did 1 over 4a?
C is equal to 1 over 4a.
And C is?
We looked that out. X is 2.
2,
And then I guess.
and then you cross multiplied. Anybody else do it a different way? No? Did anybody use the fact that we know points on the graph? No one? All right, I did have some kids that just did on their own in my morning class. They said, oh, I just plugged in 4, 7 or negative 4, 7. And if you plug it in, what are you still going to get for A? 1/8. Any questions? All right, we have one more to get through, and it is a little more complicated than all the ones we've done so far. So before I get there, any questions? None? Do you guys remember doing focal chord length last year? Slightly. Okay, number 2. No.
They have to pay calculations.
For me.
You and I have like the same handle.
Okay. All right, number 2. Focal chord endpoints.
We just cover some systems.
Yes. 3, 2 and 9, 2. Find the equation of the parabola with a being greater than 0. Right. So that if A is greater than 0, we know it's either opening. In which 2 directions could it be opening?
Up or right?
Up or right. We don't know enough yet. We're going to plot this information and see if we can figure it out. All right.
I think it's going to open right.
Open right? Okay.
Not right.
Never mind.
Down. Up. It's going to open right. That's final answer.
All right, let's go ahead and plot the information.
Man, that is so far away from one another.
All right, 3, 2 and 9, 2. All right, those are the focal chord endpoints. If these are the focal chord endpoints, that means the focus is right here in the center. Do you agree? So do we know the focus? All right, can you guys tell me what it is? I just plotted it. 6, 2? Yes or no? All right. Okay. Now, because I know this is here, the parabola is either opening up or to the right.
Yeah.
Which direction is it opening? Up. All right.
But you gotta find your C first.
Okay, so we need to find, okay, so there's a lot of things we have to work on here. Okay, one for sure we need the vertex. Do you agree?
Sure.
Now, she's saying we can find C. If we know C, can we find the vertex?
Yeah.
Yes.
We can find the direct.
Okay, so what is this length right here? I'm going to have you guys find that first.
5, 6, 3.
Okay. FCL, I'm going to put it here. FCL equals, what's this length here, guys? 6. What's the formula for FCL? 4C equals 6. Divide both sides by 4. And reduce, what is it? 3 over 2. And 3 over 2 is what? 1.5?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, if your C is 2, what does that mean? Usually I have my vertex, and I use my vertex to go up and down for the focus and directrix. But this time I have the focus. What am I going to do with the focus and the fact that C is 1.5 to find my vertex? Do we know?
Wait, say that again?
Uh-huh. I know that this is the focus,
Yeah.
and I know my focal length is 3/2, or 1.5.
You subtract it.
Okay, well, let's just talk about moving. Am I going to move up 3.5 or 3/2 or down 3/2?
Down.
Down, because I want my parabola to open up. And if I went up, the vertex was here, it would open down. Do you see that?
Yeah.
Okay, so how far down am I going to move? 1.5. That puts me at what, 1/2? Right there. All right, so we just found the vertex to be over 6, because that has not changed. Up what? Up 1/2. Why? Because I was at 2, and I went from 2 down 1.5. Do you guys see that?
Yes.
All right. What else do I need? Is that everything? We don't need the directrix. We can. We go down. This is 1/2, and then another 1.
Just using it to find the equation.
Yeah, we're just using it to find the equation.
I'm not going to do 1/4, 4a.
To find.
1/4 to find a.
All right, so he's saying plug in there the fact that C equals 1/4a. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
So 3/2 equals 1/4a, and go ahead and find your a. All right. Tell me when you guys have it. 12a equals 2. You divide. What does a equal? All right, so the equation is x equals or y equals? Y equals a. We do have to pay attention. Is it positive or negative 1/6? Positive, because it's opening up. Parentheses x. Here's the vertex, not the focus. X minus 6 squared, and then plus 1/2. That was intense, but it did at least make sense. Questions?